Highland is located in Morrow County, right up 71. Most of you don't know about Chesterville, Marengo, and Sparta, but those are the three villages that make up our little community. And it's exits 140 and 151 on the highway north. But this has been a monumental task in August 5th of 2008, when on the fourth try, our voters voted yes on a levy in which the Ohio School Facilities Commission would pay 75% of the project. And so we have a $50 million project that we've done, $47 million plus the $3 million for the green lead points. So it's a $50 million project that we're working on, which includes a new high school. Bill, are we at the right conference? Everybody else had everything done already.
That's why we're last.
Okay. That's why we're last, is because we're not finished yet. And so a lot of what you're going to see here today is the design and the thought patterns and the things, but they promised me by June 3rd all this will be done, or by August 1st, or by whenever we start school next year. So all these other guys that were up here celebrating and saying what great things they have, I'm going to be up here saying, oh my God, I hope this gets finished. Please be with us, please, you know. But the teamwork and the facility, I'll tell you that the dream started when Eugene Chapika from the Ohio School Facilities Commission came to Highland many, many times to try to convince us that this was a good thing for our children. And Eugene did not always have welcome arms to bring him into to Highland. It was a very challenging. But as things worked on and Eugene planned it, he and I started to build a relationship. What a wonderful brain, and I very much appreciate Eugene Chapika from the Ohio School Facilities Commission. And then, you know, as the Ohio School Facilities Commission does, they trade you off, and we got traded off to Samantha Cawthorn, who's our lead on the project. And then they hire your project managers, which are Quandel. For us, the Quandel group that comes in and does a great job of leading the project. But from the beginning, I give a lot of credit to our architects, Mr. Bill Baker and Dwayne Boso, who are here from MSA out of Cincinnati, but they've recently opened an office here in Columbus, MSA Architects. And Bill Baker's actually a graduate of the Highland Local School District, and his vision of and knowing of the local community as compared to some weird dreams of his 8th grade science teacher created a situation for him that allowed him to help us to build what you're about to see here. All right? Oh, that was me. So we are going to talk about at our high school. Even though the philosophies are the same for each of the 3 buildings that we work through, we are going to talk today about our high school because it obviously is the most exciting, and it does give us the best to talk about, in this case, the flexible learning spaces that we're going to talk about. When we started the project, we started with 3 foundational questions. How do students learn today different than what they did when we went to school? And it created some great dialogue for us. But basically, we boiled it down to students either asked, or ask questions. It's a pretty simple thing. It looks different in a lot of different settings, but most of us remember this, where children raise their hand when they, but now, anybody see the clickers in their hands? Some people may get some flashbacks here, but that's okay. But when kids are asked questions, the ability to formatively assess right now and be able to find out where your students are at right now was very intriguing to us. And we wanted to provide opportunities for our teachers to help students seek answers in ways that we didn't. Because the ways we had to seek answers was read the textbook, ask the teacher, wait till we could ask the smartest kid in the class, right? Go home and ask mom and dad, or get the Encyclopedia Britannica out. I'm sitting here watching these guys that were right there in front of me. And they remind me of my own children. I've got a 21, a 22-year-old, and a 13-year-old when they're doing their homework. Not only do they have the iPod in, not only do they have their cell phone working and texting, but they're sitting there on 4 or 5 or 6 different websites pulling information together, and how all of that works in their minds is boggling to me. And we are boring. And we have provided them boring environments to learn in. Shame on us. We need to think about how our students seek answers anytime. We went to Washington, D.C. last week, and the tour guide lived back when I lived in the old days, and he thought he could still ask students questions that they couldn't find the answers to. He couldn't figure out how they were answering every question that he would throw out there within minutes. I said, you need to find a new game because you got to find a way to connect some dots here because the kids are all over this. They seek answers in different ways, and they seek answers from their peers and from multiple sources that we never understood, but we need to understand. And to know that we aren't even close to what they're going to be able to do in 10 years, to know that no matter what we design today is not going to be sufficient, but we have to provide that opportunity for them to use the spaces. This guy over here is trying to talk me into eliminating all textbooks. Can we do it on the Kindle? Can we do it on the iPad? Can we do it on the laptops? We haven't quite figured out how to get cell phone reception in our building. If anybody knows how to do that, shoot me an email sometime. Students learn in a lot of different ways, like we said. Hands-on, reading, but mostly through technology right now, we know. And then how were we tested? We know that weekly test that came, that paper pencil thing that came in front of us, and that most of us hated. How are students assessed, or how do we know whether they've learned something or not? And how are we going to allow them to present their learning? In large groups, in small groups in different settings, and in non-traditional ways. We need to create a learning environment where our students feel comfortable and empowered to be able to demonstrate their learning. And so what we did was create a campus. And this is very touchy because we've got 3 little communities that very much, you heard earlier today that a school district is going back to creating community schools. Well, in our community, and based upon the rules of the Ohio School Facilities Commission, they would not build a school for less than 450 kids. We didn't have enough kids to build 3 elementary schools or even 2 elementary schools. So we decided to build one huge elementary school, and I lost. I wanted to build communities K to 5, and the teachers wanted kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I tricked them. I had the architect design both at the same time. They can start in the traditional setting where they are now, but I believe in time they'll realize that we need to have, there may be groups of kids that travel in pods like that, but there'll be other groups that travel in families. And so I think that we've built the design in the elementary school to do that. Our traditional high school will become our middle school. Our middle school people got ripped off. I am so jealous of the Clyde Springs Middle School. Holy cow, what an awesome building that is. All right, but our middle school students got moved over to what was a traditional high school. Now that's still going to be a beautiful, and every room's still going to have we use Mimios instead of smart boards, and we have sound systems, and we have the DVRs, and we have all the technology tools there also. But what we're going to talk about today is our high school and the things we'd like to do at our new high school. This is the floor plan. And Samantha told me that I could talk someone into at the OSFC that if you ever want to get any copies of these, you can, or the whole PowerPoint, you can call the OSFC or download it from there. But basically, we ended up with 2 academic wings, a core, and then down at the other end, the performance arts. And we actually put steps in a building because we didn't have enough space to spread it out onto one floor. So we ended up with 2 floors. And then we had to decide what we were going to do on the inside. I want to just highlight Highland for a while. I can remember being a teacher there when the proficiency test came out. I saw Bill Phillips back here a little bit ago. And Bill Phillips, for those of you that don't know, is an advocate for education in a way that none of us can appreciate. And I know that building these buildings would have never happened if the DeRolf case wouldn't have happened and Mr. Bill Phillips wouldn't have been out there fighting for poorer school districts. I know that our community could have never afforded this facility and the things we're about to talk about here. So my hat's off to Mr. Bill Phillips, who was here, and then my hat's off to our community for allowing us, once again, like Clyde Springs, to go into work here. And I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Dodds and let him explain to you about what we're going to do on the inside of these buildings other than the physical piece.